Well, Casanova is alive and well, which is a weird thing to say, but thank you to local novelist Melissa Rea.
Yes.
Who wrote Conjuring Casanova.
I'm probably going to take over this whole interview because
you just finished the book and loved it.
I read this book. Not only that, I know Melissa because she and I, that was my first job ever where we worked at Six Flags over Mid-America as portrait artists.
Wow.
too.
Many years ago.
And you were a portrait artist and we were artists when we were, I don't know what, 15 or 16.
Well, I was 15 and I lied.
Yeah, I lied too. Yeah.
And your mutual friend Betty, I mean, all of you have done well in life. Interesting.
Well, it's funny because we didn't stay in touch, but we were reintroduced just recently. And I saw Melissa after all these years, and she said she's a novelist, and she has her first novel coming out right now.
Actually, that's her third, I believe, isn't it?
It's my first one to be published.
Yes,
okay.
yes. So
all
the
right.
others are like ready to go when this one. And this one is so interesting, Conjuring Casanova, which I have to ask you because first I have to get this out of the way because this is a question that I have that I think everybody wonders about. When I don't get a chance to read a whole lot of romance novels, but I do like everybody go to the juicy parts right away and then... And you see, and you wonder, well, how can these authors write this and like live your life and not have your grandma like, think you're weird or something?
Well, my grandma's dead, so I'm cool.
Okay.
There will be people that will read it and go, what? But you just have to tell the story.
Yeah.
You just tell the story. And you can't be ashamed of what you write. It's a book about Casanova, so it's a little steamy in parts.
But it's also very historic. I mean, you did a really tricky and fun job of bringing Casanova into the year 2016.
It's such a clever idea that way. How did you get so interested in Casanova? And then you what did you do? Like follow and read what he wrote? Apparently he wrote a book.
Oh, he wrote a long book, 12 volumes. But you start with a genre that you understand, and I don't really write romance. It's kind of contemporary women's fiction, but the first books I wrote were romance, and I was writing about romance in the 1700s, so I needed to know about women's underwear.
Do they have underwear?
No.
Okay.
But I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So I Googled women's underwear in the 18th century. Boom. Casanova's memoir comes up and says, if you want to know about life in the 18th century, read Casanova's memoir. So got on Amazon, ordered one volume. And that volume came, and I read it, and I said, what? This guy's kind of, what is this? I had to read the whole thing.
Yeah.
And then...
Was it hard to read? Because some of that old style of speaking is difficult.
It's hard to read because it's a translation of French. And the point is always at the end of the sentence. But I read all the volumes, and then I went back and I thought, well, what? I read them again, and I just sort of got enamored of the humility and the exact opposite of what you'd think he is, and how funny he was, and how motivated he was, and what a genius he was.
How did you know he was funny? Like, is his humor back then? Was this the 1700s, right?
Yeah.
I don't think he meant to be funny.
Oh, okay.
Maybe he did. But
Now, you actually ended up doing then what your main character, Elizabeth Hillman, did in the book. You actually went to Paris? Went to Italy, went to Venice.
Correct. In fact, I had a crush on Casanova just like my
I kind of have a crush on him now from this book. And I guess we should say the book is about a contemporary woman who he brings him back to modern day, right. And then he spends time with him in this world.
Spoiler alert, Joy.
Well, I didn't want to say more than that.
That's one of my points I'm supposed to hint about is what it is.
Okay.
Yes, she's an ER physician, and her life is pretty stressful, and she's kind of given up on life and men, and she sits at home and reads.
Yeah.
And through reading this memoir, she thinks, wow, what a guy, wouldn't he be great?
Yeah, why don't we have this kind of guy today?
Exactly. And I thought, because Casanova's whole life's aim, like men today who are into NASCAR or business ventures, his whole life's aim was the pursuit of women.
Right.
And we can all appreciate that.
Yeah, and his name now is the synonymous with, a womanizer or a great lover or, you're a real Casanova kind of a thing.
I think it's a negative connotation, and it is a womanizer, and he would hate that.
Yeah.
In my story, when he reads about himself on the internet, he really is not happy.
And you know what I like, though? Her main character is not the devil may care blonde with the tiny rib cage and the, little tiny feet and all
She's
this.
an ER physician, isn't she?
But she's a larger woman, like almost his size. She's older, and she has, just the kinds of things that you get when you're older, like, Ripley arms, and, she's not perfect. She's not the, like I would think most romance novels usually
And
have.
the best part is he loves her anyway.
Exactly.
You guys, stop this. Now, you in real life are a dentist, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's an art.
Yeah.
Half the audience just punched a button and left.
No. It's funny because you don't make your character a dentist, but when you talk about his teeth, being that he's from the 1700s, he has like really, what do you call them, candy corn teeth? Mm-hmm. And, you don't realize that back then they smelled. Oh, and he liked perfume that women wore because there was no distinction back then. So you had to do all those historical little corrections about,
I got to jump in here soon. The book is called Conjuring Casanova by Melissa Rea because we're running out of time.
Okay.
And I assume
Darn
you can
it.
get it at Amazon.
Yes, it's available online from several sources, but Amazon is a big one.
Are you doing any local signings or anything?
Yes, I'm planning on doing a signing at Left Bank Books. The date isn't arranged yet, but I am going to do my launch party at the best restaurant in town, the most fun, the most beautiful restaurant there is, the Fountain on Locust.
And when is that?
Is that set up?
Yes, it's the 29th of June.
Fabulous. Okay,
Good.
what day of the week is that?
I believe it's a Wednesday.
You
And
have
what
to
time would it be?
7 o'clock.
At 7 o'clock. Okay.
Remind us so that we can all promote it.
Okay.
for you on this
Okay,
time.
that's
But
fantastic. I loved it. It's
Thank
great.
you, Melissa.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Can't wait to hear more. And thank you to Abusi Michelli Insurance, continuously working to provide the individual coverage you require. They made our segment possible today. They also handle commercial life and health insurance. Contact Tina Michelli at 314-832-6667.